What a gorgeous day. Gorgeous day. Well, what do you think this is all about, people? Oh, no. This one. Look. Mita. What the heck is that? Eat payment? Pavement? Mayor loses it? As Marines stop sanctuary? Well, we're going to have robots pretty soon, right? I mean, this looks like insanity. So it's definitely coming up. It's definitely Mercury retrograde. Communication is very bad right now. You can tell, right? When you look at stuff like that. But then, okay, look at this. This is the higher vibe, right? There's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. I just can't get my microphone to work. So we're going to do a meditation on my phone again. I have to find somebody. I'm going to have to probably go to the Geek Squad unless my son can help me. All right, so let's do a meditation. Get your favorite crystal. Oh, you know mine, my favorite one. All right, let's see if I get the light in it. Because there's like, you put it in the light, right? There you go. And then you see these like gold flecks inside. You see that stuff? See that? See that? The filaments? They're like whiskers, right? Meow. But this is a really good meditative rock, right? Oh, like you really see them now. Let me turn the camera around. Wow, it's all about the lighting, right? Let me see if I could get this better for you. Hold on. Like play with the camera. See, that's much better. You see that? Now you, wow, they just sparkle, right? Yeah, so try to find this. I forgot what this is called. It's a quartz, but there's a special name to it because it has the gold threads inside, and it's really good for meditation. And, okay, another thing I was going to show you guys. So that's beautiful, right? Muy bueno. I know, I love it. My favorite meditation rock. The other thing I was going to tell you is these are good, you know, when you don't feel like eating dinner. I could get monetized for this. I think this is a good product. I'm not crazy about stevia, though. But, I mean, it's not a strong stevia. But instead of eating dinner and you want to lose weight, I think this is a good choice, right? It's only 650 milligrams. Organic, plant-powered. So this is cheaper than a meal. You know, it's like $5. So, you know, you spend more than $5 right on a meal. I've been spending a lot of money on food for the holiday. A lot of money on food. And I still have to donate some to my favorite places in Chicago. So let's do a meditation. Chicago's moms picked the wrong day. So that's that whole rioting in Chicago, right? So we don't want all that going on. That's crazy shit, right? I mean, I hope you agree with me. If you don't, then you should be on another channel. If you want to cause riots and destruction. I mean, I do feel, though, okay, wait, let me look at this again. I do feel, though, we have to stand up for our rights. And I think both sides are out of balance. I'm not going to side with any side. I think they're both out of balance. And I've given my views on this before. And yes, we're going to do a clearing, and we're going to do a Reiki session, but I really want to do a meditation. Oh, so let's start with the meditation. Actually, that good. My son tried to call me, and it's good he did because it reminded me of what I wanted to tell you. So, okay, let's do a clearing. I've tried to work with my muscles more. you know. Uh, and I really like this. Okay, so what I was going to tell you about the ringing, and I think I talked to this about in another post. I don't know if it's on Facebook or here. I can't get my mic to work on YouTube, so that's why I keep going on my Facebook on my phone. So this is really good for stretching out, you know, your muscles. And my astrologer said I should work with my muscles. And I said, well, do you see me having surgery? She goes, no, you need to work with your muscles. So the last time I listened to her, she was absolutely spot on. She said, you need alternative healing. Right? And then I went for all those months and months and months of bloodletting. Yeah, it was like going to a vampire for months and months and months. Every week. Maybe almost without fail. Because when I commit myself to something, I try to commit myself to something. So I think that's important. That's just who I am. So let's finish the clearing. Okay, breathe in through your nose and out through your feet. Yeah, so the ringing is really important right now. Look at how it corresponds to the soul's rays and this whole thing with 3-Eye Atlas. Oh, something just flew by. I don't know. My windows are so dirty. Oh, and I really need to get my windows washed. Ugh. Maybe even if somebody just washed them on the outside, it'd be better than not at all, right? Yeah, we're in our heads a lot, right? We've been doing a lot, but that's okay. You know, and sometimes you have to do things over because it's Mercury retrograde. Like I bought that silly little LG TV, right? And then I got my Sony. It has beautiful color and sound, and it's easy to use. That LG, don't even get me started on that thing. The sound was bad. You had to point a laser at this rectangular box, and you had to put in letter A, up, then you had to capitalize it, then okay, was I watching TV, or was I having a computer experience? So I said, no, I can't deal with this, it's driving me mad. So my son was so patient with me, we packed it up, he packed it all up in the box, we saved a box, my neighbor Pablo said, saved a box. Thank God I saved the box, because we took it back. So the sound right now is really important. If you watch with the solar rays that are jumping around, right, and the sun is changing, right, some people feel it's a portal, right, for communication with the intergalactic. So who knows? I don't know. It could be a portal. I mean, we always see it as the sun. We see it as a star, right? Well, maybe it's the star of all stars. You know, maybe it's the star of all stars. Maybe it's so energized that we just go right through that portal. So the sound that you hear when you meditate is going to change. And I told you about, what was his name? Michael, right? He has a station, and he talked about the sound being really strong. It was so strong. I heard it for 2 days. I was like, the first day I think, it like wiped me out. It's like I went to bed at 10:30, and then I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, like wide awake. And then I said, oh my gosh, I stayed up for a while, and then I went back to bed till 9 o'clock. And it was like this whole shift in energy was taking place. And that's another thing I was going to share with you. And I don't know if I could do that on my phone. See, I have to go and look for this other audio in here. And I don't know if I'm good at doing that. But what I do, and when I figure out how to get on YouTube and then do a download, then maybe I could find it, Because I don't know where, I guess it would be under stuff that I saved, right? So let's do a meditation. I will have to figure that out. Because what it is I had a session done with this lady, Lisa Wetzel, okay? You can find her online, right? Lisa Wetzel. And she did like, I studied Akashic Records, and I had a mind-blowing experience with it. The one session that I did maybe I did more than one. I don't know. The one session I did with Akashic Records was so powerful. It was just so powerful. I literally saw like ticker tape go across the wall, and it would have these messages on it. So I haven't had another experience like that, but I've had other experiences. So what you want to do right now is when you sit down to meditate, and I think you guys meditate, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this station, right? So when you sit down to meditate, make sure that you focus on your hearing, focus on your whole body. Do your breathing. And then out through your feet. Epsom salt is really good for the body right now. Okay, let's start a meditation. Okay, so we're still praying for the islands. Our focus is still on the islands, okay? So we talked about that. When you sit down and meditate, you don't have to force yourself to sit down and say, oh, I got to do it. I only did it 1 minute, or, my mind was here. Okay, if your mind jumps like the monkey in the tree or the monkeys with the hats, right? I told you about that story, right? Way back when, one of my videos. The guy falls asleep under the tree and the monkeys steal all his hats, right? So, yeah, it's a crazy story. But that's how our mind is, right? It jumps all over the place. So we have to take the time to do our breathing. I'm sorry, the light is playing tricks on us, right? And let's pray for India. It is so dirty there. Let's pray for India. It is so filthy dirty. These countries need to clean up their places. I mean, we live in paradise, and we treat it like a garbage dump. It's like it gets to me. It just gets to me. Clean up your act, right? Clean up your act. That's what I've been doing, a lot of cleaning. But I'll tell you, Monday, I have to put myself on the schedule because it's very easy to get distracted for me. Oh, gosh. All right, guys, let's go into meditation. So besides praying and meditating for the islands, right? Burning incense for the islands. I had such a good PT session today. I'm getting stronger. My astrologer said I'm getting stronger. All right, so let's go into meditation. We're also going to focus on Europe. We're going to focus on flooding. So they don't get a lot of flooding because there's a stationary front over Portugal and moving into Spain and the rest of Europe. Even on the future map, it does show a lot of Europe going underwater, unfortunately. So people have to become cozier. They have to move to higher ground, and they have to move to areas that are not going to flood as much. And then the land will be rising, right? So we're going to get new land. I mean, it's not going to be all disappearing. We will get new land. But, when that new land rises, then if you're on an island and you got this huge continent that's rising off your little island, you know who's going to succeed. So I would say anybody who's on an island anywhere should have a boat or should have a car that turns into a boat. Or get one of those Elon Musk's flying cars, right? It's so bizarre about that flying car. I had a dream a long time ago. It was actually a premonition. Yeah, I have to have it all set up. You have to have our lives all set up. We have to clean it up. We have to put things in place, and we have to do meditations. Okay. So yeah, think of those places. Think about focusing on them, becoming more realized, right? Because they're really in the darkness. Let's say prayers for King Charles, because we all kind of feel like he's going to pass on soon. So we wish him a peaceful transition, right? So all these people, all these senators, all these presidents, all these people are getting up in age. They're all going to be passing away, right? So that hippie generation is leaving the earth along with the music, guys. Don't forget about the music from the 70s. 70s and the 76. 67 was one of my favorite years. Okay, so let me do another clearing here. And just visualize, the sand and the water going over the feet. So yeah, you don't have to start exercising a lot, like run to the gym and do 3 hours and all this stuff. Start little by little. That's what I started doing. I'll put on Hallmark and I'll watch a story and I'll stand behind my couch and I'll exercise. So we have to get up off the couch and we have to exercise, right? And I'm doing a step by step, where you move your feet apart and your feet together. That's a really good one for working on the hips. And I started taking iodine drops. And I'm trying to eat more whole grains. I'm trying to stay away from starch, like just strict carbohydrates. I think the spirit right now wants us to eat cleaner. I'm not saying you can't indulge a little bit for Thanksgiving and your holidays with your families, but I think before we come to those holidays with our families, maybe we should kind of like fast a little bit. I don't know. That's just, in my opinion, I think it's good for the soul to fast a little bit, and maybe instead of that one day ordering like Uber Eats or DoorDash, maybe take that money and send it to Salvation Army so they can feed all these people for Thanksgiving. God, I got to get that together too. I just feel it's so intense right now and it's all focused on food. But you know what? I'm hosting and it's been intense. I don't know if I'd want to host again, okay? I don't mind it and I wanted to because this has been such an intense summer for me. It's been so intense with the digging up of the street. And then I thought they were done. And now they're starting to dig up again. But on the other side, my Pablo's house. So I should call him and ask him if everything's okay. So yeah, I'm going to have a little gathering. And I just want to make a nice little celebration. But, I think we should eat more healthy, so string beans, with almonds. And, turkey's a pretty clean meat. And, if it's made by a reputable company, I think, ethically farmed and all that. So, yeah, I think we have to pay attention to what we eat. The oils, they say no seed oils. They're really bad for your body. You even have to be careful of, virgin olive oils right now. You do your research because I actually had to order some online because I didn't like what I saw at the store. Like all the stuff you see at the store, most of it's not very good. They mix it with other oils. It's not a pure virgin olive oil. And, olive oil is like one of the healthiest oils to consume, So, okay, so let's finish up with the meditation here. So watch what you're eating. Try to eat cleaner. I really wanted to go out and have some Popeyes fried chicken. Usually have it once a month. But then I was doing twice a month and I thought, no, I can't do that. So when it crossed my mind today, I said, no, I don't think so. So I just had some really good quality sardines with beans. And then I showed you I had the Rebel drink, right? So we have to try to eat cleaner because the cleaner we eat, the more we can harbor that really high frequency energy, okay? Because the other stuff clogs up the body. And then you could do a castor oil pack. So, Edgar Casey, you could look on his web shop. I'm sure he's got a web shop online, Edgar Casey. And you got a special wool material and you put it over your liver and you put castor oil on it and cover it with plastic. And that'll detoxify your liver of the fat. So I think I'm going to try that and see what happens to my body. Because I've had a really hard time losing weight in the lower part of my body. And I go, why is that? Why do I have so much fat around my abdomen? And I don't think that's healthy, right? And then I'm also thinking of buying myself an exercise machine. I have one I'm going to give away. So we're going to do some more meditation. So I want you to focus now more diversely. Focus on the islands, typhoons, hurricanes, wow, it's intense. Floods, the ships, the planes, the trains. Everything should just like take a rest. I'm not saying like force ourselves back into like COVID time, but maybe people should take a step back. Maybe we should all take a step back and pull in with our family and our friends. I think this is the time to do it. I think we have to really build our communities. And I think some people, where I live right now, that's why I love living here. I feel like I live in a community. I know my neighbors. It's peaceful here. All these neighbors, I feel like, thank God for his little piece of paradise in my life. I praise the Lord. I found out that the lady who does my nails, she did my pedicure. I uploaded that on Facebook. When I don't know if you saw that I uploaded, but she is wonderful. But she does believe in Jesus. She believes in Buddha. And to me, as long as you believe in the light of God, as long as you believe in a higher light, like in that being that's going to be full of love and healing and peacefulness and joy, then I think you're praying to the right being, Not to somebody who's going to be evil, right? Okay, my guys, so let's finish up with this meditation and let's send out our lights. Get your crystal. Yeah, so even though my sound's not working in YouTube, when I download this to YouTube, I'm going to have to check to see if there's sound. Okay, so get your crystals. And just breathe at your own rate through your nose and out through your mouth. You can like breathe in and raise your shoulders up and then breathe out. That helps open up the upper chakras. And don't like jam them up. Just bring them up slowly. I had to have my PT lady, she had to work on my shoulder today. It was like locked up. But then I've been moving things around too. And whatever, right? I have to use my body. All right, so here we go. So we're going to take a little longer here for meditation. So see if you can, I'll start in a few seconds. I think it's really important to look at the whole global world and pray for all of it. All of it, South America, everywhere. Belize, Central America. Oh my God, and Asia's so dirty. Tap your third eye. Clean up Asia, God. They spray the bed sheets with pesticides. That's how those 2 young girls died in Thailand, and no one was held accountable. Wow. Somebody should have really stepped in. That was not fair. You don't spray, because they're spraying for bed bugs rather than using herbs. They're so silly. They live on an island full of herbs and flowers, and I'm sure there's plants there that would naturally keep away spiders and bugs and snakes. I think those people are smart enough, but no, they found the dummies. That's how these 2 girls died. Okay, so I'm going to start meditation in a few minutes. These 2 girls, they were on a vacation of a lifetime. Well, thank God, they spent almost a whole week together before they left. So they both went out of the world together. Sweet souls. Young girls. In their 20s, I think. Yeah, they thought maybe it was the guys that they met in Brazil, and then they met again, I guess, in Thailand, and they're all there on their last day. They thought maybe the guys did something, but they didn't. They sprayed the bed sheets with pesticides, guys, and you're lying there sweating and sleeping, and they absorbed all those chemicals. So there's going to be uprisings. Yes, there will be. We don't want any of that effing pesticides on our foods anymore, right? I mean, come on. And then everybody's so iodine deficient. Their kids are being born, that are cognitively deficient because they're iodine deficient. I mean, I don't know. Things seem so like opaque sometimes, right? So let's pray to break through that opaqueness. Let's pray and meditate to calm down people's angers and like really get to the source of the problem and not create another problem. It's this is wild. I mean, I know now we're in the age of Aquarius, and people are going to pull together in their communities. It's a time of brotherly love. So, okay, so let's breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Look, it gets darker early and earlier, right? We're going into our cave. So pick any spot you want in the world and then send your love. Send your healing, send your wishes, send your prayer, send your protection, send your angels, send your incense, whatever you can to uplift the energy. And once I figure out what's wrong with my microphone on YouTube, I want to play that vibration for you. That lady, she got in the Akashic Records. She comes in with light language, and then she starts speaking in la 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 la, like that kind of language. And it was like so beautiful. And it was like, oh my God, I said, it sounds like Native American. And I go, how did you learn to do that? So then she told me, Lisa, right? I told you, with Lisa Wetzel, right? She said that she was becoming more telepathic, right? More telepathic is when you are connected with somebody before you actually physically connect with them. Like if I'm thinking about you, you might call me, right? Or I might call you. So that's telepathy, right? So, or having any kind of like precognitive experience, right? Like I should have wrote them all down. It like blew me away. I had like 5 of them in a row. One I knew that was that Andrew Mountbatten and his daughters would have a connection with France. I thought he was going to go first, but she wound up going first. But yeah, I mean, wow, that's a big sneeze. That's a big discharge. Well, I'm going to make some ginger tea. I think that's what I need to do. So I think we need to keep our immune system strong right now. Okay, so listen, guys. Let's get back into the meditation and then focus on your special area. I am going to choose the islands again just because, I mean, it's so bad everywhere. I mean China, I mean Asia, Indochina, I don't know, whatever you call it, Thailand, the Philippines. So yeah, I pray to God. I pray. I'm consider myself a Christian. I pray to the Blessed Virgin Mary and my angels. The lady who read me, she said I had a lot of angels around me, and I says, well, I primarily work with Saint Michael and with Raphael. I mean, Raphael is new to me. I mean, I haven't worked with Raphael. He's pretty new, and I says, well, how did you get started with doing the light language? Like I knew she was trained in Akashic Records because I was trained in Akashic Records. Because it's a very visual healing tool for people. Because I asked her, she said, do you want to know how you got injured in your hip? And I go, yeah. So, I don't know, I guess I was a deer in a past life and I got pulled apart by a wolf while I was still alive. So I suffered, right? So then you pray for that past life. I mean, I don't know, I've never connected with that past life, like going from a human form into an animal form. I don't know if I've ever connected in that way. Like even in a dream, even in my precognitive dreams, I don't think I've ever taken on the shape of an animal. So if you have, let me know. That's interesting, right? Maybe you've had some kind of precognitive experience. Okay, we're going to do another meditation and pray for the weather, pray for the wind. And I guess they say as we move into 2026, it's going to be the fire season. And it's going to be year 1. So 1 is nice. It's kind of like we clear the slate right now. We're clearing out the dust. We're repurposing things. We're relocating. We're changing our lives, right? I mean, there's a lot of drama going on right now. I mean, even the royal family, they're finally getting into their forest lodge, right? Or they moved in. I think they moved in. Good for them, so they can live like a family. I think it's beautiful. I really do. I see, okay, we're going to start meditating. 2 more seconds. I see that whole thing. This is a prediction I have. That eventually there's not going to be this whole king and queen thing. That's going to be like put to rest. So what they'll do is they'll have a museum, and they'll charge money to come in and view, all these beautiful things of the kingdom that once was, right? And then I see it as becoming more of a people working together more, so it's not like top down. I asked my friend, I said, well, how's your principal? And she goes, she's wonderful. And I go, well, what makes her wonderful? She goes, she's hands off. See, and that's good because she's hands off because she understands who her teachers are. She spent enough time with that. All right, guys, let's clear one more time. And we're going to start a meditation. So yeah, start dusting, start cleaning, start repurposing. Freshen up, even if you can't do it all at one time, and I know I can't. I have to take a break, Ugh. And then also get yourself like a little dumbbell, And you don't have to do a lot. You could do a few every day, I think it's important to exercise. So do the best that you can, try to eat well. I hope you get to spend some time with your friends and family, for the holidays. I mean, whatever holidays you celebrate. Because, we have Thanksgiving, then we have Hanukkah, and then we have Christmas. God, I have so many birthdays. So yeah, so you want to be in the moment, and you got to spend a little bit more out of your pocketbook, right? But you know what? What I went through this summer... And what I went through in the past year of my life, I mean, I praise everyone who's helped me. I really do. Everyone who's helped me in this dimension and in the other dimensions, right? All right, so let's spend a little bit of time. Get your crystal gold flecks, so beautiful. Remember the last time we did this meditation? Today's kind of intense, right? But remember I said we named it the Golden Spiral, right? So if you've been meditating with me for a while, I mean, you should really be able to feel it in your body. And what that does, it shakes all the dust loose, Get out all the cobwebs. Yeah, it was like a spider hunt, like looking around for all these spider webs, cleaning my home. So yeah, let's stay in the moment, stay in our heart. And listen to the sound current. So that's what she did. I said, well, what did you do first? And she said, well, she started doing readings for people because she was very telepathic and very clairvoyant. And I probably will do that one day too. I just am trying to put my home together. So, so I thought that was amazing. And so I said, well, when did you start with the light language? And she said, it just happened. It happened like a month ago. And the light language is just like her. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it would feel like to experience that, because I haven't experienced the light language. So let me know if you have, or you think this is totally wacky, or you have experienced the light language and you want to share it. Wow, the sun is really going down now. Yep. Stay in your heart, guys. Yeah, my dirty windows. Don't look at my dirty windows. I know. I wonder if I could find someone who can clean them for me. All right, my lovies. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy your weekend. Stay in your heart and meditate.